Hollywood earlier on in the day, but it's been mostly the assault maps along with the control point maps that we've been seeing so far. Taking a look at the defensive setup coming out, I'm not too sure if the Torbjorn is a Trollbjorn or not. Okay. Yeah, they've got the Winston along with the D.Va and the Genji here, but they still have to deal with the Torbjorn turret, which might be a little bit difficult as Christopher does immediately jump onto the back line, but that was the bait and switch as Decod is there with the charge, immediately taking him out, and now they are onto the point. It's going to be Sev along with the Genji Fisher there. They have to be careful, but Snizzlenose getting the kill onto Crinks, but immediately gets traded back and forth. Both Genjis going down. Now Sev is going to get D-mech there. He immediately falls to Talos' turret, and so great first hold coming out. Snizzlenose does get that Helix rocket kill onto Talos, but immediately they're answering right on back as they push forward. That's 4 kills going in favor of alternate attacks. Even committing the Earth Shatter there, I don't think they quite needed that. Yeah, Fisher is going to push forward. He's got the Nano Visor there, but Tactical Visor popped on the other side from the side of X alternate attacks, excuse me, and Vision only gets 2 kills off of that as he continues to push forward, but that might have been just enough as the self-destruct does come out and doesn't quite get a kill, but Snizzlenose will be able to clean up next there as he was D-mech. Talos getting the kill onto Toms. He might put a stop to this offense coming up from Hammers Esports as Sev tries to face off against Envision there, but he's going to back off as he does have the support of Ruby there. Now self-destruct does come out from the side of Hammers Esports, but it's not going to quite connect. It will force Envision slightly out of position as Fisher tries to go onto the high ground and try and contest, but he still has to deal with this turret that's just immediately putting shots into his back as we do have the Primal Rage getting popped by Christopher, and he's going to jump immediately onto Crinks there, but he gets the kill onto Envision within, so they might have gotten the opportunity to get in as Christopher finds a second kill there. Crinks with the Nano Blade though gets 1 kill onto Tomsy, but it's going to be Talos that falls to Fisher, and now the offense still pushing forward as Christopher once again on this Winston doing major work for his team so far for Hammers Esports. They haven't gotten a tick quite yet, so this might be an opportunity for alternate attack to actually come in and contest.
I just realized that I was muted for about the last 5 minutes. No, but nonetheless, we have seen a pretty stellar hold here coming out from Envision. And I did make mention when I was muted that Talos has actually pulled out this particular character quite often, actually. And man, I wish I wasn't muted because I did talk about a lot during those last 5 minutes. Man, that really feels bad. But nonetheless, you know, Talos is going to be switching over to that Lucio now, and like I said, it is something that we have seen quite often in the past from these particular guys. I mean, Talos, known for bringing that out, has pulled it out on Hollywood in the past primarily, but we will see Ruby as well, just trying to make a big performance here, trying to make a splash, because obviously throughout the open qualifiers, he was a big reason why this team was able to perform so consistently. And Decode getting aggressive off the bat already, just putting some damage onto Christopher, and that shield is getting low as well. And we already see the kill off on Tomsy as the tac visor comes out as well.
Yeah, but that's a 1-for-1 trade, and the offense has a much closer respawn here as Decod gets another charge. There's self-destruct coming on. They don't have the Ryan to actually try and block it, but it doesn't quite connect. But Earthshatter does come on out from Decod, and once again, these defensive Earthshatters a little odd coming out from X-alternate attacks there. I don't think they need to commit that again.
We will see as well. Next up here in this pretty aggressive position, they are going to hold pretty close to this spawn at the moment, and they're going to be trying to get aggressive off of it as well, as they're just trying to get some ult shards, push them back, try to get a lot going for themselves here. And a nice hook actually coming out onto Nex as they back him off a little bit, and we do see Cranks actually just pulling out the Dragon Blade as Fisher's just following him around as well.
You don't really see that often. Genji's chasing after each other with the Nano Blade there, but the offense getting that first kill as Shaz is able to pick up the kill onto Talus, who was hooked in there, so now they're starting to push forward. The take lane has to be careful on the side of X Hammers there. As the Earthshatter does come out, Decod only connects onto Sev there, but it's gonna be on the side of Hammers Esports. It's Christopher with a huge 3-man shatter, and they're gonna continue to push forward. Now the payload is starting to make way.
We will see as well Envision just pulling back into a position here back, and we do see as well him just trying to get some high ground, and he wants to get up here, but Sev now getting pretty close actually to getting that Graviton. It is going to come online now alongside Snibblenose, and look for Sev to try to make the most of it as we do see them jumping on. The Graviton comes out, he finds 3 inside of it.
I think that Graviton is what many would describe as huge. Yeah. So unfortunately, the whole hog was able to push back almost the entirety of X alternate attacks there, and they weren't able to get onto the point. When they did dive on, it was just like a split second after they had actually secured the checkpoint. And so now they've got 1 minute and 50 seconds to work with to complete out Numbani here as the defense are starting to come back.
We will see as well Sev just trying to get some help over to actually Christopher, who Envision actually winds up taking out, and they're going to back them up completely. It's Envision just going ahead with that tac visor. They don't find too many big pickoffs, but Envision actually looks like he's going to try to make a swap here as Cranks is just coming alive, finding those last couple of Dragon Blade kills here. We can see him in a good position to make a hold.
He picks up that Tracer, hasn't been able to find the value that he really wanted to off that 76. Unfortunately, they had to commit, or they did commit the nano boost to that last team fight. So now they're kind of in the power trough here as Hammers are pushing in with 4 in tow. And now this Genji pushing into the back line. We've even got the Earth Shadow coming out, lands onto 2 members. Crinks drops down. Sound Barrier will keep him alive for now. He actually stays alive as Decod falls on the side of X alternate attacks. Next trades right on back though, so Reinhardt for Reinhardt, but Snizzlenose with the great hook onto Envision is going to give the man advantage over to Hammers Esports, and the payload's starting to make way here as members are getting caught out. The Crinks is starting to get the resets here with those dashes. Snizzlenose once again finds another pick, takes out Talus, and now Crinks has to be careful. He's starting to fall back. This payload continuing to push forward.
We will see Envision just trying to get back onto the point to try to contest. 30 seconds remaining in this time bank here as we will see him pulling out that pulse bomb pretty soon here, looking for a kill on one of these tanks. Christopher getting down pretty low, gets the heal though, and Graviton actually coming out, only getting the supports. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to find the kills. Pulse bomb is not going to secure a kill as the shield actually does support him a little bit, and Snizzlenose is going to be able to find that flick and the kill with it.
And yeah, we've got the whole lot coming out with the nano boosted Dragon Blade. Crinks has to be careful. He's dropped down low, and he's going to get cleaned up by Shaz there. And that will be Hammers Esports with 3.1 seconds left on the clock, finishing off this map. And those 3.1 seconds could be absolutely crucial in this matchup.
To 3. Switching sides.
We will see the side switching over here. And we will see now Hammers Esports with the opportunity to go for a defense now, as they were able to go the distance, and with that 3.1 seconds they have an opportunity to go for the point yet again should it actually come to that stage. Now for the attacking side here, I imagine Talus is going to be going over to the Lucio, and I'm kicking myself because I gave out so much information in the opener to this but was muted the entire time, and now I'm just having to go back in my head and think, you know, what did I say? What do I need to re-say, you know, going into this matchup for people to really kind of understand what's going on. But nonetheless, I mean, we do pretty much anticipate a dive strat that is actually going to involve 2-2-2 more often than not from this particular team, especially on a map like Nimbani, where they really want to get control of high ground and kind of contest particularly some of the hit scan that they probably imagine will come out from this particular team. But the thing about the Chavs, who is, again, now Hammers Esports, is that they, again, often run a triple tank setup, but with a Genji as their DPS, as opposed to the soldier that you're used to seeing. Fisher, known primarily for running that Genji in their compositions, and Sev has been known to kind of swap things around, as well as Christopher. Christopher typically running a Reinhardt, and then Sev actually running either a Zarya or a Diva or a Winston to kind of back that up. But again, this team is just been known to run a lot of different strats, some interesting stuff as well that have caught some teams off guard, but we'll have to see if alternate attacks is going to be one of them, as of course they're going to be pulling out a little bit of something different themselves. 2-2-2 starting out with that Fair Mercy as well.
Dive-centric defense coming out for the side of Hammers Esports. On the side of X alternate attacks, they will be pushing forward with that Pharah Mercy combination, as they are just going to go ahead and push through main right here. Right now, Krink's trying to put in some work, but he's facing off against a Diva who's eating up most of those rockets. Hook comes in from Snizzlenose, but it's going to be Krink's that finds a crucial pick onto Shaz. But with Ruby going down, that Pharah might lose its potency, as Krink still doesn't matter. He gets a kill onto Tomsy. He's dropping down real low, though, but he's got the support of the rest of his team. Christopher actually finding a kill onto Talizer before he goes on down, but they will finally clean up Krink's, and it looks like the offense might have just pushed them off the point.
Still pretty close here. I mean, Sev now trying to back Envision off, and he does have the support of Shaz in the backline there on that Ana to just push him off at the point. So they are able to secure that defensive hold there for that first one. Alternate attacks poised to go for that second attempt, as Envision does have that Dragon Blade up and ready to go. Certainly Christopher wants to be able to follow him around as much as possible to try to shut that one down a little bit.
Alright, so here we go. Second offensive push coming out. Fisher gets the first kill onto Decod, though, as the Dragon Blade does come out and Vision finds the first kill onto Christopher. Now Krink's following up, is able to help secure that kill onto Sav. Hook comes in, but Krink's will survive it, unfortunately, for the side of Hammers Esports. Now the Dragon Blade does come on out as a barrage. Krink's not able to connect with the kill on that. I think he got slept there, as Envision is able to come in with that Genji, finding a double kill, taking out Schnizzle and Shaz, though. And so now the offense continuing to push forward. It is getting contested by the Genji and the Lucio now, as the reinforcements are coming in for the defensive side. Primal Rage popped by alternate attacks, as Decod is trying to jump onto Fisher. Self-destruct comes on out, but the site is cleared by Hammers Esports, so no one falls to it quite yet, as now the Divas are facing off. Snizzlenose there is able to try and help put in some more damage. Self-destruct coming in from the side of Hammers Esports, not going to connect, but it doesn't matter, as Christopher and Fisher just doing the cleanup work by themselves. Snizzlenose finally coming in to help contribute to the team fight with the rest of Hammers Esports, and the defense will be able to hold 1 minute and 45 seconds left on the clock for the offense.
Now Fisher definitely put in a lot of work there, and I definitely think that he was able to really kind of set that team up for sure. But nonetheless, going into this next fight here, Ruby going to be pretty close to having this res, and that's going to be big for them. They haven't given up any ticks yet here. Hammers Esports on the defense have been definitely pretty solid so far, but I mean, this next fight is going to be definitely really tough for them. That Resurrect coming up, as well as having to contend with the sound barrier. That actually is going to be something they open up with, though, interestingly enough. And we do see Mercy just trying to get into a position where he's going to be able to do anything about it. Trades coming off from both sides, though, to start things off.
Yeah, and Vision used that Dragon Blade, but it was immediately shut down after one kill. Krink's, once again, up high. Very little contrast coming out, but as I say that, Sev takes him out. And so now the defense holding on pretty well, as Fisher gets the kill onto Talos, and now they're pushing them all the way back to main to the Mega Health Pack, as Nexus is actually able to get the shift kill onto Christopher, but he gets demeched and will not be long for this world, as Snizzlenose will clean that on up.
Now Snizzle in a pretty good position to get a big pulse bomb here. We did see the res coming out as Talos opened up with the sound barrier there, and no kills came out. Ruby was taken out by Fisher with those shurikens. A little help from the rest of the squad as well, but nonetheless, look at that Snizzlenose just sneaking his way down, back around, and we see Definitely Ruby looking to hide here and make the most of this res. That's not in a good position at all, though.
Oh, but here's the Nano Blade coming out for Fisher, and he's able to get 2 kills as the Resurrect does come on out. Self-destruct on the side of Hammers Esports will connect onto Kriggs. So as quickly as he was res, he falls immediately back on down. Self-destruct used on the side of X alternate attacks, but it doesn't quite connect for them. Now it is in overtime, and they are starting to get cleaned up, and it looks like Hammers Esports are going to be able to secure Numbani here. His next is going to get D-Mech cleaned up by Fisher. Hammers Esports will walk away with the first map. The stragglers coming in. Krinks is actually just going to go ahead and accept his fate. And yeah, Hammers Esports taking a dominant first win here on Numbani.
Hammers Esports, yeah, I mean, now going into the second map, we have to wonder what alternate attacks is going to want to do. And obviously there's a lot of 2CP involved here that could potentially come out. Nepal's still on the board as well. We haven't seen Hollywood between these two teams, obviously, as we've only seen this first map, which is Numbani. But of course, a lot of options on the table, and I'm curious to see what they want to pull out up against a team that runs, again, kind of some atypical stuff here. And it's interesting, actually, that Snizzlenose actually pulling out the Tracer here for this particular matchup. So they're actually running kind of a 2-2-2 strat, still running that kind of classic triple dive, but it's backed up by Sev on the Diva, who really does a good job of shutting down any potential hope at running a kind of hit scan type character. Obviously, we didn't see any of that from alternate attacks to start things off, but if they do wind up trying to pull that out, then they're going to be in an interesting kind of situation where they're going to have to deal with Sev, who is very versatile on that off-tank role and has been known to play pretty much every single one of those particular characters, excluding Reinhardt, obviously, given that that's pretty much always taken by Christopher there.
All right, so it's going to be up to X alternate attacks to decide where we're going to be going for our second map. Hammers Esports looked really good there on Numbani, so I don't know if they'll want to take them to Hollywood. So we're just waiting on that. But yeah, Hammers Esports currently up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. Remember, this is just day 1 of Group B play. We've already had 4 teams moving on to our playoffs from Group A, and so these teams definitely, trying their best to join them. And it looks like we are going to be going to Nepal for our second map. And Christopher wants to start up on the attacking side of Nepal. So, lol, Kappa.
So we will see Hammers Esports over here, and we will see it on Nepal once again. That is going to be that next map, and I imagine that Hammers should be able to close this one out, just given their ability to fight, I mean, very, very well on that point there on Numbani. I think they're going to be able to close this out here on this particular map. But, I mean, just give me your thoughts on what you think Sev is going to be able to pull out here, because obviously we've seen Fisher pretty consistently on the Genji, and we've seen Snizzlenose able to come out and run, I guess, Tracer, as well as, some options of Roadhog, which was consistent in the past for them. But now looking at this particular matchup, I think my biggest curiosity is what we're going to be seeing going into this map from, in particular, Sev. And it looks like he is going to be going over to the Zarya at the moment. So they're going to go back. Oh, is he going to go for Winston, maybe? They're switching things up. Fisher going actually over to a Soldier. Diva coming out from Sev. We'll have to see what happens, but otherwise I think it's going to be pretty straightforward here for the side of alternate attacks, as of course they're going to be going for a dive more than likely here.
Yeah, so we're going to be starting off once again here on Village for Nepal. But yeah, I really do want to see a lot more dive coming up from both sides. On the side of Hammers Esports, though, let's see if they're doing anything interesting. I mean, they are lingering over the Junkrat, but you can only hope, right? One can only hope. Generally, if we do see him, it's on Synctum, so it's probably more troll than anything else, as much as I might hope otherwise. But once again, it looks like they might go for that Pharah on the side of alternate attacks. And so we've seen mixed results coming out from Pharah so far in our first day of play. But yeah, they are going to go stick to the pharmacy combo on the side of alternate attacks. So now, as both teams do approach from the high ground here, we'll see if the Winston jumps in immediately. He actually already used his barrier, so a little mistime there, but D-God will jump on in, as Crank's not getting challenged quite yet, is able to get some free damage off, but Christopher is able to block a lot of it with that Ryan shield that is starting to get whittled down there. Now the positional advantage in favor of alternate attacks, and that's going to allow Cranks to get the kill onto Fisher. And so once again, Cranks coming in, gets the second kill, taking out Tomsy, and he's going largely unchallenged. And on Numbani, we saw that at least Sev and the Genji player were able to apply some pressure to him, but at this point, none at all, as Shaz goes ahead, accepts his fate. It's going to be alternate attacks to be able to take the point first.
We will see them with a pretty good position here. I mean, Ruby was really supporting Cranks very well, and the rest of the team at that as well, as he's already managed to get that Resurrect up. That's obviously going to be big for them coming into this next fight, but Cranks left largely unchecked, as you were saying, in that fight. I mean, Fisher, with not enough space, going to try to contend with Cranks up in the skies here on the Pharah, and now he's going to be looking for an opportunity to barrage here, coming down pretty aggressively at the moment, but Envision able to open things up with that Pulse Bomb.
And that's a huge pick, kicking out Christopher, their Reinhardt player. But we do have the self-destruct coming out as the players were in kitchen there. And it's going to be, once again, Cranks getting the kill onto Shaz. Now next was able to DMX Sev there. He gets cleaned up. Cranks doing so much work on this so far and still going largely uncontested. Fisher just having so much pressure applied to him, isn't able to do anything at all to him.
We're going to be seeing Fisher now with Tactical Visor. That's going to be big for them to try to set up a kill onto Cranks around the time that he pulls that barrage out. Obviously, Cranks could be potentially low-hanging fruit if he does pull out that barrage in a bad position, so we'll have to see if he's going to be able to pull that one out in a good spot. We do see self-destruct starting things off, not going to find anything initially, and Cranks already with 2 kills set down to 10 HP. Fisher finds that kill, though.
But is it going to be enough? That's a 2-for-2 trade as Sev does answer right on back, taking out Decop, but there's the Resurrect coming out from Ruby, and that's the entirety of alternate attacks back in this fight. Now Sev gets demeched, he gets cleaned up by Talus, and alternate attacks will be able to hold on 75% on the board, and they still haven't been able to use their ultimates on the side of Hammers Esports to get onto this point. They haven't even touched it since the opening volley of fights.
And now look at alternate attacks just jumping in, very aggressive, just trying to keep them away from the point. If they can hold the fight over here, they can just close this map out without having to worry about how this fight actually turns out. And certainly it looks like that's going to be what they try to do here. But we do see the point looking like it's going to be flipping, and Deco just making his way over, just pushes Christopher out of the way, but does get actually hammered down and charged there as he's trying to make his way back over to the point. Crank's trying to come in and find the damage as well, but it seems as though Hammers finally, at 99%, able to turn this fight back around and now finally get control of the point, but certainly a huge uphill battle for them going forward to try to hold on to this one.
Yeah, Fisher had to commit the nano visor, and so there's still no one actually able to really contest Cranks here in the skies, as we do have the self-destruct coming out on the side of alternate attacks. And it's going to be Decot that gets the kill onto Christopher. It is traded back to Cranks, finally taken out of the skies by Shaz of all people. And now they're continuing to push forward, holding on to this point right now as the resurrection does come out for alternate attacks. So that's the entirety of the team brought back as Tomsy finds the kill onto Talus now, though. And now Hammers Esports gaining a footing here on the defense, and they're going to be able to clean this up. But it's going to be a real uphill struggle, like you had mentioned, but they have some tools in tow for that.
They definitely do, and certainly that was a fortunate fight for them to be able to pull out of that one with a lot of options. I mean, Fisher and Shaz going to be once again in a great position to go ahead with that nano visor in this particular fight, as this one's going to be able to set them up for one final fight, which will decide the map if they wind up even winning this next one at all. But it's going to come down to that. Cranks needs to be dealt with. Certainly you want to have Envision off of your supports as well, but I mean, really, it's all about finding spacing for Fisher to come alive with that nano visor if possible.
Yeah, but Snizzle starting that off, gets the kill onto Decot. Cranks does get the barrage off, but Sev does eat the majority of that, but not before Fisher finally falls. Now we do have the sound barrier coming out on the side of X alternate attacks. Ruby still doesn't have the resurrect quite yet, and this might be the last fight as Sev gets the kill onto Cranks, and Vision does trade on back, taking out Tomsy. Next drop down real low, it's going to be Christopher that cleans up that kill as Sev cleaning up Ruby. So now 84% on the board. There might be one last opportunity for Hammers Esports to get, or excuse me, for X alternate attacks to try and contest here, but it's not looking good for them.
And we do see Fisher in a great position to pull out attack visor, but is he going to get, is he going to get shit down by Nex? That's the question. He's going to pull that attack visor out, looking for that Lucio kill. Is looking like Nex is trying to contest that, but Talus actually does get taken out, and Fisher's able to find that opening kill. She'll be able to kill off Ruby as well.
All right, that's already 4 kills going in favor of Hammers Esports. So a little slow start here on Village, but they are able to close this out, taking the first point. Now they want to secure that 2-0 to move on with a winning record into day number 2.
Score 1-0.
Now moving on into the second map. I mean, pulling it back, down 99% to 0. Really, I mean, basically losing out on every single fight up until finally being able to turn it, and then just holding out with a reverse sweep on that particular map and winning out the point. That's a lot can be said about, I mean, honestly, both teams' ability to really defend well against the incessant push that comes out from both. But nonetheless, we are going to be seeing them going back to their roots a little bit, as Fisher going over to the Genji, and then the triple tank coming back out again as Sev goes over to the Zarya here. We are as well going to be seeing an interesting setup actually with a 2-2-2 coming out from alternate attacks once again here, as Ruby again sticking to that Ana.
Alright, so now we are onto Sanctum. Both teams, of course, meeting on the high ground. I don't think we've had any other different approaches here, as Christopher goes for the charge first and connects onto Decod, but it doesn't matter, as Talus is the one that gets that kill. It's traded 1-for-1. These Reinhardts always giving their bodies for the play, and it's going to be Snizzlenose with the great hook onto Cranks, taking him out immediately. Great start for Hammers Esports, as we do have Tracer on the point. It's going to be Envision trying to contest, as Hammers Esports with 3 members on will be able to secure it here. Here on Sanctum.
So despite the fact that they don't really have a lot of spacing to work with, they don't have a really commanding hold of it, they are able to get the point, and now they're able to get themselves in a position where they can get that. And we do see Fisher trying to get involved here, trying to help out Christopher, but he is going to fall, and next super high energy, and look at that, Fisher able to find a kill there, might be able to find another onto the Soldier, but Envision going to slide over and help him out, as Sev generating that Graviton Surge is trying to contest next, finds that kill, and it looks as though Hammers Esports might actually just hang on in this second fight and be in a great position then to hold out on the third as well.
Yeah, Envision not going to be long for this world, trying to take this 3v1 on the point. So that's going to be the rest of alternate attacks actually backing off. 37% on the board for Hammers Esports, and they've got some really great ultis for this next team fight. They've got the Graviton Surge along with that Dragon Blade, almost have the support ultimate Tomzi's Sound Barrier on. Graviton Surge comes out from both sides, but it's going to be Hammers Esports landing onto almost the majority. We do have the counter Earth Shatter coming out, but it doesn't matter as Fisher comes in. Easy resets coming out for him, getting dash after dash. And now that's going to be a cleanup, and those are 2 huge ultimates for X alternate attacks to actually use here, as right now Hammers Esports are in a great position.
We'll have to see if maybe Cranks and Ruby can combine to really make a big play. We've seen what tactical visors, particularly nano visors, have been able to accomplish on this particular map, and Snizzlenose now getting pressured down by Cranks, who does have that ultimate. He's trying to find multiple kills at the moment, but only finds Tomzi initially, and they're able to finally close this one out. It seems like they're going to be able to flip it as well, but they still have to find the kill on Fisher before that actually is going to be the case, and he is going to finally be killed at 87% now in favor of Hammers Esports, and they go ahead up on the high ground, now pushing into that spawn room a little bit as well. But again, I mean, still, we'll have to see if they're able to do exactly what Hammers Esports was able to do, which was just come back from so far down. It's going to be a tough task, though.
Yeah, they've got the whole hog along with the sound barrier to work with. Charge does come out, but it's missed Pulse Bomb too. And now Fisher with this Genji will dash on in. He's into the tank line, immediately gets hammered by Decod there. So now a 6v5 advantage for alternate attacks. Things looking good so far for them, 30% on the board. Charge comes out again. Decod unfortunately not able to connect on to Christopher, but there is follow-up damage as he is trying to retreat. Snizzlenose will trade on back 1-for-1. And now this is actually a really good position so far for Hammers Esports. They've got 4 ultimates. They're going to work closer and closer towards the Dragon Blade along with that Earth Shadow, so they might have 6 soon. Oh no, Earth Shadow used. It only connects onto Sev, but Cranks will actually be able to follow up, getting that kill onto Fisher with the Helix Rocket.
You really want Fisher in this fight. They were in a great position. I mean, Sev was pretty decent energy, sitting at about 60, just waiting to use that Graviton. And now, with that particular fight happening the way it happened, Nex is going to be able to Graviton at the same time, and they're going to be in a little bit of a duel there with that ultimate coming out. We do see Sev's coming out first, though, and they're jumping on it. Biotic Grenade coming out as well, setting up that first kill into what looks like 3 now, perhaps.
Oh, Graviton Surge was stacked right on top of each other as we have the Nano Visor coming out, but Cranks unfortunately just shooting that straight into the Reinhardt shield, and he's getting chased down by the Reinhardt and the Genji. But Genji does get put to sleep, but right now the point does flip on over in favor of Hammers Esports, and now they're on the chase for Ruby, who should be falling quite soon. He does have the nade to keep himself alive, but not for long, as Diva does come out next, trying to contest the point for now, and Earth Shatter comes on out next, actually falling there. We do have the Reinhardt on the side of X Alternative Attacks trying to keep this live, but nah, Envision won't even be able to get onto the point. So now Hammers Esports up 2-0 here on Nepal, trying to close out the series 2-0.
Hammers Esports, I mean, this has been incredibly close. We've seen both teams battling back from nothing to be able to get themselves back involved in the map, but nonetheless, Hammers Esports winning out both of those, and we have to remember, this is match point here. I mean, if Hammers Esports wins this one out, it's going to be the series along with it, and a quick 2-0 at that, even given the fact that Alternate Attacks really, I think, did honestly kind of better than I anticipated them doing in this particular matchup, but we'll have to see if they're able to turn things back around. We have seen a little bit of a return earlier with Dignitas, but I'm not sure if Alternate Attacks has tools at their disposal to do much the same. We'll have to see. Fisher now sliding up towards this top right side, getting himself into a nice position here, assisted now by the tank lines. Christopher and Sev alongside him up near the elephant. They need to find these kills quick.
Hammers Esports winning that triple tank composition. Well, we've got the 2-2-2, mostly dive composition coming out on the side of X Alternate Attacks, but it's going to be Deca that goes down first to Fisher. So now man advantage in favor of Hammers Esports, and they are immediately pushing forward. They have to be careful not to get booped off there, as Christopher actually dropping really low because of that Discord orb. Pulse Bomb came out from Envision. Unfortunately, did not connect. That was a really quick Pulse Bomb, but now they are actually fighting on the point. Crank's getting the dash onto Tomsy, takes him out. So now fighting back, it's going to be X Alternate Attacks able to get the first point. And we've seen this before, though. Hammers Esports on point 1 on, I believe it was Village, was able to bring this back. Will they be able to repeat that performance to close out the series?
I think a big thing here was Ruby actually sliding over to the Zenyatta. You don't typically see him picking up this role quite often. I mean, it's mostly Ana for this guy. He's actually, I mean, hugely integral to the composition on Ana and that they typically run, but bringing out the Zenyatta, something that they don't typically run, certainly very consistent with this particular compositional lineup, and now he's going to pop the Transcendence and just run straight at them, and they're looking for kills at the moment. Tal's getting pretty low, but no picks on either side just yet.
Yeah, they committed 5 ultimates to that, and unfortunately, it's a 1-for-1 trade at the end of the day, and that's going to go ahead and favor Hammers Esports, as they have plenty of their own. Fisher finding the Helix Rocket kill onto Ruby. Next, gets that one kill, actually finds a double, taking out Christopher, so he's the tank slayer there. Now they are defending the point, but Fisher gets the kill onto Crank. Sound barrier pop on the side of Alternate Attacks there, but it only actually connected with Talus there. But now the point is still being contested here. Is that 57% in favor of Alternate Attacks, but Sev was able to DMAC next in the meantime. Now they do go ahead and pop the sound barrier on the side of Hammers Esports, and Sev getting the kill onto Decod will finally allow them flipping on over. Fisher also getting the kill onto Ruby now. Signs the retreat on the side of Alternate Attacks, but they put in some work, 64%.
And Sev with the Graviton coming up as well. Have to see what that's going to be able to do here, as he's managed to get himself up very high energy in that last fight, certainly putting out a lot of damage for this squad, but I mean, they really need a lot to be able to come back into this. Again, whoever gets the first point cap seems to really get a lot before things are finally turned around. Graviton getting ready to come out. We'll have to see if it gets eaten up by next. They want to find this kill quickly, though.
Dragon Blade came out, and here's the Graviton, and only connects onto Decod, and it's already a 3-for-1 trade. Make that a 3-for-2 in favor of Alternate Attacks as they push forward. They're trying to take the point back. A lot of them are actually purple right now. The Bionic Nade landing, and we have the Nano going on to Sev here. Sev trying to keep this point alive for his team, but oh, great Fire Strike coming out from Christopher. Will be able to get the kill onto Envision before Sev falls. Transcendence is popped on the side of Alternate Attacks. They're trying to fight back into this. It's going to be a 3v3 fight. Crank's getting the kill onto Fisher, though. Will start pushing it on over in favor of Alternate Attacks, and there we go. They're able to clean up. 59% on the board for Hammers Esports before it gets flipped on over, and they have so many ultimates for Alternate Attacks.
We'll have to see if Talus actually comes back to try to get Ruby back into position, and that is going to be the case, because they definitely want him in position quickly to try to contest what is about to happen. They want to be able to win this next fight so they can close this out and make it 2-1. But we do see some aggression coming out, and a nice hook actually onto Snizzle, or from Snizzle Nose onto Envision there, as they open up with a nice pick, starting things off 6v5.
Yeah, we do have the Primal Rage getting popped by Decod, but he's already at half health. Ruby dropping low, and he's going to fall down to Christopher there, who was able to swing on him free. So that's a 2-for-1 trade. Now they continue to push forward on the side of Hammers Esports, as Snizzle is able to D-mech next, and it's going to be Christopher with the follow-up to take him out. And Hammers Esports, they do not want this to go to round number 4.
We are seeing Christopher with that Earth Shatter charged up as well, and that's going to be big for them. I mean, if he can get himself into a position where he's going to be able to get like a lot of value out of that, they're going to be able to win this fight pretty handedly, as Ruby is not going to be able to have that Transcendence available. We might see the Sound Barrier come out, but I mean, really, you want to be able to look for a pick onto that Lucio primarily here, especially off of the Earth Shatter. There's not going to have any real ability to kind of block that propagation of that ult, so really, I mean, Christopher should have easy pickings to try to get the most value as he possibly can out of this particular ultimate.
Sound Barrier popped by both sides, but a great Earth Shatter comes out. Fisher's going to be able to get the kill onto Nex, and Cranks unfortunately had that Dragon Blade, but was not able to actually commit with it. And it looks like Hammers Esports, 99% on the board, are going to be able to 3-0 alternate attacks here to go ahead and get the 2-0 victory against them. And they'll be moving on with the 1-0 record. That's a lot of numbers.
Oh, man. That was an insane hook by Snizzlenose just to see where that was happening, that recall coming back and able to close that one out. Really good performances by Hammers Esports to finish that one out. Of course, alternate attacks, I think, impressed a little bit there. I mean, certainly, Hammers Esports was probably the favorite. Great stuff from Fisher here to be able to find these kills inside the Graviton as both came out from both sides. And, man, he was all over the place slashing with that sword there. Nonetheless, that is going to be the final match of the day. And, man, a lot could be said about performances that we saw today. Dignitas falling unexpectedly to Movistar Riders there, and Misfits, of course, winning out. Hammers Esports doing just the same, but already starting out Group B with a little, I would say, a little bit of an upset, which is kind of in line with Group A.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Pretty much in line with Group A there. So yeah, congratulations, Movistar Riders, Misfits, along with Hammers Esports, getting their first win in Group B of the Overwatch PIT Championships here. We still have 4 more days of competition here in Group B to decide who are going to be the top 4 teams to move on to our EU playoffs. I was one of your casters, Jamerson, joined by Hurix. Great matches today. I mean, I had a lot of fun casting these.
Yeah, and we are going to be signing off for the day. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for sure, as we have a lot of great matches coming your way on Wednesday. And I believe I'm also casting tomorrow as well. But so definitely make sure you guys hang out tomorrow. We're going to have some great matches. It is going to be a continuation of Group B with some different matchups. So definitely stay tuned for that. And we'll see you guys on the next time.